A king who ran from his crown, a slave who became a general, and a witcher who never wanted followers. Strange group to discuss leadership. None of us asked for people to look up to us.
Leadership finds you when people need someone who understands sacrifice. I led soldiers knowing some wouldn't come home. Real leaders carry that weight without breaking or becoming reckless with other lives.
Carrying weight is different from choosing it. I avoided ruling because I saw what power did to my family. The lies, the deals, the slow poison of compromise. Some burdens kill your soul before they help anyone.
All leadership corrupts eventually. People want miracles, and when you can't deliver, they blame you. I've seen village chiefs become tyrants and kings become monsters. Better to stay free and help when you can.
Freedom is a luxury soldiers can't afford. When men depend on your choices to stay alive, you can't walk away when things get hard. Abandoning responsibility to keep your hands clean is just cowardice with fancy words.
Understanding your limits before taking responsibility serves people better than failing them later. I needed years as a ranger to learn who I was beyond my bloodline. A crown taken too early would have made me a bad king.
Preparation doesn't matter when people want someone else to solve their problems. They'll follow anyone promising easy answers. Leaders disappoint because they're human, not the legends people need them to be.
Then give them something real instead of legends. Sweat with them, bleed with them. Make the same sacrifices you ask of them. Men follow strength they can see, and trust they can feel through shared hardship.
Shared hardship builds trust, but doesn't guarantee wisdom. The strongest fighter isn't always the smartest leader. War needs different skills than peace. How do you go from battlefield commander to peacetime ruler?
You don't. Most war heroes make terrible rulers. They're used to clear enemies and simple goals. Peace means dealing with cheating merchants, scheming nobles, and farmers arguing over land. No monsters to kill, just people being people.
People being people is what war teaches you about. Soldiers lie, steal, and panic just like everyone else. But in war, bad leadership kills people fast. In peace, it kills them slowly through poverty and injustice. Gerald, when you fought the Wild Hunt, you went alone instead of uniting the kingdoms. How many died because you chose independence?
Fast consequences teach hard lessons, but not patience. A king must balance competing groups. Merchants against farmers, nobles against commoners, present needs against future costs. War is about one purpose. Ruling is about managing 1,000 different purposes.
Managing 1,000 purposes means satisfying none completely. Every choice creates winners, and losers remember longer. That's why I prefer clear contracts with monsters. Kill the beast, take payment, leave before politics mess things up.
Clear terms work with beasts, but people aren't monsters you eliminate. They have families, reasons for their actions beyond simple good and evil. Even Commodus believed he served Rome's glory, twisted as he was.
Serving the greatest number sounds noble until you decide which minority gets sacrificed. I've made those choices as king. Trade deals helping cities but hurting farms. Alliances protecting some regions while leaving others exposed.
Exactly why leadership is a fool's game. Every choice damns someone, and you live with the results. I've seen ruling turn people into calculators weighing lives against politics. Better to stay small and keep your soul.
A clean souls don't help anyone. Sometimes you dirty your hands to protect something worth saving. I dirtied mine for Rome's glory, then against Rome's corruption. The dirt stays, but so does the good you manage to do.
The question is whether the good justifies the compromises. I united 2 kingdoms, brought decades of peace. But I also pardoned war criminals for stability and ignored injustices to maintain order. Maximus, when you killed Commodus, was that justice or revenge?
And there's the trap. Once you start compromising, where do you stop? Today you pardon a criminal for peace. Tomorrow you ignore a massacre for trade. Next week you order the massacre yourself for the greater good.
The greater good demands personal sacrifice, not personal evil. You sacrifice your comfort, safety, happiness to preserve it. Leadership means choosing the harder path for yourself, not easier paths for others.
Noble words, but incomplete. Leadership means choosing paths can't choose. When plague hits, someone decides which cities get medicine. When famine strikes, someone picks which regions get aid first. Honor doesn't make those choices easier.
Honor makes those choices impossible, which is why honorable people shouldn't hold power over life and death. The moment you accept that some must die for others live, you've changed forever. That change turns leaders into monsters.
Monsters don't lose sleep over their choices or agonize over lives they couldn't save. The pain is what keeps you human, reminds you that power is burden, not privilege. When you stop feeling that weight, you become dangerous.
Feeling the weight doesn't remove the need to bear it. Someone must make impossible choices because avoiding them is still a choice, usually the one causing most suffering. Good people become monsters by refusing to lead.
Maybe the real problem is we've built a world where leadership requires becoming a monster, where survival means compromising everything we value, where choice isn't between good and evil, but between different types of necessary evil.
Necessary evil exists, but so does unnecessary good. Every mercy that costs you politically, every honesty that weakens your position, every sacrifice serving no purpose. Those choices define whether you're human or just another machine wearing a crown.
Those moments matter more than strategic decisions. They're what people remember about leaders after politics are forgotten. The mercy you show defeated enemies, honesty when lies would help. That separates kingship from tyranny.
Pretty words, but mercy to enemies often means they live to fight again. Honesty about plans gets soldiers killed. Unnecessary good is luxury for people who don't live with consequences. Aragorn, your mercy to the mouth of Sauron. Did it prevent future wars or just delay them?
Living with consequences is what makes those gestures meaningful. Anyone can be practical when it serves them. Choosing honor when it costs you something. That's what leadership tests. Not your ability to win, but to win without losing yourself.
Winning without losing yourself assumes there's something left to preserve after all the compromises needed to gain and keep power. Maybe the real question isn't how to lead without corruption, but whether leadership is worth the cost to your soul.
The cost is always higher than expected and benefits smaller than hoped. People don't improve because they have good leaders. They find new ways to disappoint you. Save yourself the heartbreak and stick to simple problems.
Simple solutions are for simple problems. People aren't simple. Their needs aren't simple. The world isn't simple. Leadership exists because complexity needs someone willing to wrestle with impossible decisions, while everyone demands easy answers they can blame.
Maybe that's the truth none of us wants to face. Leadership isn't about being worthy of power. It's about being willing to bear the unworthiness that comes with it. Corruption isn't failure of leadership. It's the price of leadership working.
A price paid by the leader but collected from everyone else. Your unworthiness becomes their suffering when your compromised choices affect their lives. Maybe the most honest thing is recognizing that price and refusing to make others pay it.
Refusing to pay doesn't eliminate the cost. It transfers it to someone else, usually someone with less power to bear it. Better to accept the burden yourself and minimize damage than let it fall on those who never chose to carry it.
In the end, we're three different responses to the same impossible situation. Geralt's refusal, Maximus' acceptance, my reluctant embrace. 3 ways of dealing with a world that needs leaders but destroys them. Maybe that's all that can be said about power. It's necessary, corrupting, and someone must bear it.